to it. Shot one, shot one. All right, check it out. Oh, one. Let's give it all praise and glory to Yahweh by Shema Shah. Double honor to the apostle brother Elder Greg Millstone. Shout out to the hope for the elect. Oh, messed up here. Shout out one. So we're gonna get right to this lesson. The title is Give the Warning for Me. So let's get right into this.
This is the all-new Velotric Thunder One ST urban style bike with Apple Find My. The Thunder One ST is a Class 1 e-bike with a top speed of 20 miles per hour that uses 5.
There are absolutely massive movements taking place between Russia and NATO. The Russian defense minister has said that the cluster munitions of the sovereign territory of Russia are much more effective than those of the Americans. And by America giving those munitions over to Ukraine, America is the one that is escalating this into world war. The Czech president, Petr Pavel, has just warned the country of Russia that nukes will beget nukes in World War III, and has stated that, quote, our response to Putin's nuclear threats should be, we all have nuclear weapons, and they are all on alert. The U.S. administrative leader has backed up these warnings with the current U.S. President, Joe Biden, stating live on a microphone, this is for all of the Russians and the Chinese to see and to hear, that, quote, all of us take Article 5 literally. 1 inch of NATO territory means we are all in this war together. So what they're saying is that if even an inch of Poland or of another NATO country is breached by Belarus, by Russia, by China, by any territory outside of the NATO allied governments, then it is an all war against Russia. Speaking on NATO taking in Ukraine as a member state, the Secretary General to NATO, Stoltenberg, has said that we reaffirm that Ukraine will become a member of NATO. We, as NATO, agreed to remove the need for membership action plans. One of the official statements at the NATO summit is that they are looking at the potential for a nuclear war. A war to pop off that the allied members are in a watchful waiting phase at this current time. The statement closes out with this quote, the current circumstances do not indicate the tendency to use nuclear weapons in global conflicts. So what you see by these mentionings of nuclear war or Russia or the infringement of sovereignty against NATO allied countries is that NATO is preparing for this to be a decades-long conflict. The Secretary General of NATO has said, we have approved the presence of a force of 300,000 soldiers on standby against enemy territories. This includes, according to NATO, air and sea capabilities to the fullest extent that NATO allows. But that's what's happening in our world. It's being reported that bankruptcy filings in the USA by larger corporations just in the first half of this year have risen to the highest level since the same time period in 2010, when we were facing our last financial crisis. This is a significant indicator of the next couple of months and how people's individual incomes are going to be affected. According to reports, institutional investors like hedge funds, they control 40 to 50% of all U.S. single-family rental homes. They will continue to control more by the year 2030. Yesterday, I saw some images and some video of renowned climate activist Leonardo DiCaprio. He takes a private helicopter from his mega yacht over to the shore for dinner almost every single day. And then today, the socialist Spanish minister was shown using a private jet to attend a climate conference. Just 100 meters, 300 feet before the conference venue operating place, she got out of a limo and she hopped on a bicycle, so that when she would ride up to the front of the venue, all the pictures could snap of her riding up for climate on a bicycle. The security cars followed closely behind, but it just shows you that this is just a card game to them. It's nothing more than a trick. They don't really care about the economy. They don't care about the climate. They don't care about the earth. They don't care about you or your children. All they care about is remaining in power. We see this in corporate worlds and we see it in the government. Now, you have to wake up to the significance that we mean nothing to them, and so they should mean nothing to us. Lithuania's president has urged NATO that all of the allied countries must establish a permanent military base against all of Russia's borders. This is a huge, huge show of just what crap show the next couple of years are going to be. We are literally just in the beginning. We're in the beginning of a war against the United States dollar. We're in the beginning of a war between Russia and NATO, the beginning of a world war between China, the Indo-Pacific allied nations, and NATO, and we're in the beginning of a war for your mind. The cost of college tuition, speaking of a war for your mind, has risen 710%. This just since the year 1983. If you go back to 1980, it has risen 1,200%. They don't care about you getting more educated. They don't care about the jobs you might be placed into. All they care about is control, power, and more of your money. There's absolutely no reason that college tuition rose 1,200%. You know, teacher pay didn't. And so where is this money going? Then we look at the prep items that you might need in a long duration emergency, and it might just be time to start buying chocolate in big.
All right. Let's keep right to your scriptures. Let's go to I forget. Well, let's go to Ezekiel. Yeah. Chapter 3, verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me. Right? So we got here giving warning. We did again Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. Right? Give them warning from me. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 5. That I said to the Lord, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is coming. The end is coming. The end is coming. Watch for thee. Behold, it is coming. Right? It is coming. The morning is coming unto thee, O thou that dwell in the land. The time is coming, the day of trouble is near, and at the sound against of the mountain, right, of the mountain. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 20, right? Destruction coming, and there shall see peace, and there shall be none, right? Destruction is coming, and there shall see peace, and there shall be none. Mistress shall come upon mistress, and rumor shall be upon rumor. They shall seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest. The law shall perish from the priest, and the counsel from the ancient. The king shall mourn, and the princes shall be clothed with desolate, and the hand of the prophet of the people of the land shall be troubled. And I will do unto them after the ways, and according to thy desert I will judge thee, and I shall know that I am the Lord. Right? You should know that I am the Lord. Okay, what else? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. Isaiah 13, verse 5. They came from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Right? Destroy the whole land. Hallelujah, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It should come as destruction from the Almighty. Right? It should come as destruction from the Almighty. Verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Right? Every man's heart shall melt. Behold, the day of the Lord come cruel, both with wrath and fury and anger, to lay the land desolate. He should destroy the sinners thereof out of it. He should destroy the sinners. And I will punish the world for their evil and their wickedness, for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogance of their pride to cease, and I lay the hardness of terror. Right? Lay the hardness of terror. Therefore I will shake the heaven, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fury, anger, right? The day of his fury, anger. Joel chapter 2, verse 10. The Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong to execute his words, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. And who can abide it, right? Who can abide it? Who can abide it? Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, even haste greater, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry bitter, right? The mighty man shall cry bitter. Today is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wrath, a day of desolate, a day of darkness and gloomy, a day of cloud and thick darkness, a day of trumpet and alarm against the fenced city, against the high tower. And I will bring stress upon man. They shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dog. Nor their silver, nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy render of all them that dwell in the land. Right, all them that dwell in the land. Mark chapter 1, verse 15. And he said, the time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of our power is at hand. Repent yet and believe the gospel, right? Believe the gospel. Believe the gospel. Hello, what up? What? Second Peter chapter 3, verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slacking, but long suffer to us word, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Right, that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heaven pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up, right? Shall be burnt up. All right, what else? I think I got one more scripture. Let's go to Luke chapter 21, verse 34. And take heed to yourself, that any time your heart be overcharged with surfing and drinking and carrying of this life, so that they come upon you unaware. For the snare is should come on all that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch you therefore, and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all those things should come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. Right? It said, watch you therefore and pray always. Right. Got a couple more. Just trying to get one. Matthew, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also in the last days, perilous times shall come. Right, perilous times shall come. For man should be loving of their own self, covenant, boast, proud, blasphemy, disobedient to parents, and unthankful, and unholiness. Right. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also in the last days, perilous times shall come. Right, perilous times shall come. What else I got? Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 6. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them. They are dead, that they may be judged according to the man in the flesh, but live according to the Most High in the spirit. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Right, watch unto prayer. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed he that readeth, hear the word of this prophecy. Oh, messing up. Blessed he that readeth. Blessed is he that readeth, and they hear the word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right, for the time is at hand. Right. We got a couple more. It's just nope. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time that is now high time to wake out of sleep, and for now is our salvation near that we believe. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast the work of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk in honesty in the day, not rioting, and drunken, not in chamber, and wanted not in strife and envy, but put you on the Lord. How shall anointed? And make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Right, to fulfill the lust thereof. Romans 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that time now is high time to wake out of sleep. For now is our salvation near that we believe. Right, it's a high time to wake out of sleep. This Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14. Oh, it's 15. Ephesians chapter 5, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16. Redeem the time because the days are evil. Won't forbid you not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Right, understand what the will of the Lord is. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16. Redeem the time because the days are evil. Right, that should be it right there. The days are evil. Right, so that should be it. So we're gonna close that out. So we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Bashar, double honor to the apostle, brother, elder, great millstone. Shalom to the hope of that.